Over the past 6 months, I've been buying the best rated running products on Amazon to see if they're actually any good. I've purchased a real mix of different gadgets, clothing, nutrition, skincare, recovery tools, and of course, 100% with my own money. There's absolutely nothing here sponsored. I've been testing all of these things out really vigorously to see if they're going to improve my running, or would it all be one big disappointment and waste of money. Right, starting out guys, I bought a couple of pairs of Balaga socks, the best rated socks I could find on Amazon. They were really comfortable, durable, still going strong. I've done probably a good couple of 100Ks in these socks and they show absolutely no signs of giving up yet, no holes or anything like that. In terms of the cons, they are a little bit expensive. Amazon pricing is always a little bit all over the place, different sizes and different prices. They are really quite thick as well. I think if you do run in a slightly hotter climate, you are going to struggle. These are not going to be the most breathable socks. And in terms of my rating, I would give these a 4.8 as well. Moving on to energy gels to help with those all-important long runs and marathon training. I bought these SIS isotonic energy gels. You get this variety pack in a box, loads of different flavors, 22 grams of carb, informed sport and vegan as well. But I've been using SIS gels for a very long time, and what I really like about them is you don't need any water with these. They're really liquidy, and where I've always really liked to use these, like on the start line of races where you might not have some water around as well. Really nice flavors. So if you're the kind of person that suffers with maybe some like flavor fatigue, you've got loads of different options here that you can have on your run. And also coming in at just about £1 a gel, so something like Morton, which is sort of a bit of the market leader, you're only about £3 a gel. In terms of the negatives of the SIS gels, they are a little bit on the large side as well and quite heavy for gels, and they can just get a little bit messy. They are a little bit hard to open, and these pull tabs do sort of come off and then normally they fall on the floor, which isn't really great as well. But for someone trying gels for the first time, I always really recommend to a lot of people start out with something like SIS gels. They're really good on the stomach. They've never given me any issues. For me, I'd give these 4 stars personally. Yeah, they're not going to be the best gels out there in the world, but for the value you're getting for these, they really are fantastic. Next up on the list is one of the most oddest looking things. Can you guess what this is yet? Well, a lot of you guys recommended this during the winter, and I thought I had to get this in now to make it for this video. So this is what's called a shoe dryer. Really good for any homes a bit like ours without any sort of warm rooms. So something like this can be really good just to get your shoes dry when you've washed them or you've been out in the pouring wind and rain. Down with rain guys, these shoes are well and truly drenched. So let's get back home and see how long it takes them to dry. And after I came in after this run, the shoes took about 40 minutes on here to be completely bone dry. There's basically like some heating elements in the bottom here and a little fan inside here, and then it blows hot air out these things here. So you rest your shoes on there, and it just basically just very simply blows hot air out into the shoes to help dry them. A little bit like a hairdryer, I suppose, but nowhere near as hot as a hairdryer. And yeah, overall it worked really well. I was quite surprised. I wasn't expecting much. In the depths of winter, I'll be using this sort of thing a lot more. In terms of the negatives, it was surprisingly loud. If you live in a small place, it might be a little bit annoying. So yeah, I'd give that 4 stars for me. Now, following on from that, when I was cleaning my shoes, I was using this, the Boot Buddy. Maybe one of the most famous things to have been on a program called Dragon's Den in the UK. Americans call this Shark Tank. Fill it full of soapy, lukewarm water, clean your shoes, get all that muck off them. And then you've also got a scraper here on the back as well, just to get any sort of nasty or really dried on bits on there as well. In terms of what I really like about it, it did the job well. It cleaned my shoes, it got rid of dried mud or fresh wet stuff as well. Easy to use, super portable. If you're going out to the trails, you can just take some water with you, clean your shoes before you get back in the car. In terms of what wasn't very good about it, it does run out of water quite quickly. A lot of water does come out here, so it needs refilling a little bit. But one of these will probably did 1 shoe for me, so I need to refill it once to do 2 shoes. If you have got quite small hands, it might not be the easiest thing to grip. I've got quite big hands, so that's what it looks like on there. In terms of my rating, 4.5 stars for this. Only sort of slightly let down because for me, I'd like a little bit of a bigger reservoir on it. Next up, I bought some calf sleeves. Compression for your calf muscles, basically supporting your muscles when you're out there doing activity, helping increase blood flow and your recovery arteries as well. The thing with compression technology, it could be a little bit up here in the head, but I just basically like to put these on when I'm out on the trails. It keeps my legs a little bit cleaner, stops any sort of brambles and stingers, just nasty things when you get out on the trails. It just helps look after my legs a little bit better. So in terms of what I liked about these, they were just great. They were comfortable, they were fine. The Compressed Sport and 2XU, like the flagship ones, are going to be about £35–40 a pair. These are so much cheaper, and they did pretty much the same thing. I didn't personally notice any difference at all. In terms of the negatives, these aren't as nice in materials as those high flagship ones, but essentially they're all doing the same job. So yeah, 4 stars for me. Moving on, we have this rather natty invention here, a bit like a sort of a sports bra, really. Essentially what this is for carrying around your phone in here, in this sort of pouch here. You can also put a few little valuables and your car keys up in here. This is an iPhone 14, like the normal size, and you can just sort of chuck that in there along with your house keys or whatever, and some other little valuables, and then go for a run. And it works quite well, stops everything bouncing around. I do see quite a lot of people running around London in these type of things, since I've always been curious to get one in and just see how it feels. It's a really good option if you don't, the person that doesn't like an armband, or you don't want anything around your waist, or you don't want a big sort of pack. In terms of what I didn't like about it, it's just not my sort of style, if I'm being perfectly honest. And it just seems like a lot of material and faff just for basically carrying your phone, which I really personally would rather do in my running belt, and that works absolutely fine. Not really the kind of thing I'm gonna ever be using again and keeping in my rotation, but yeah, not to knock it at all, but I would personally give it 3 stars. Now, longer term viewers of the channel know my favourite way of carrying my phone and my valuables is with something called a naked band, and that just goes around your waist, and you can really go carry poles. You can get loads of stuff in there. It's fantastic with a kit. But they don't sell that on Amazon, so I can't be reviewing that here. But what they do sell on Amazon is probably the best-selling belt in the world, which is something called a flip belt. Very sort of similar style of thing, and I've really been enjoying using this one here. Can stick my phone in the back here. Again, some valuables in there as well. My keys on this really handy little clip that keeps them nice, safe and secure. In terms of what I really like about this thing, super comfortable. You get lots of different colors as well. I just went for the plain black. Easily holds my iPhone 14 in here, and you can also add some gels in there as well, and it doesn't bounce around at all. What I don't like about it, it would be nice to have a bit of a security pocket here with a zip, but I never had any issues with my keys just on there. But stuff can potentially fall out. I didn't lose anything myself, but some of the reviewers did mention that. Yeah, a little bit on the pricey side, but really good quality product in here. I'd give this 4.3 out of 5. Right, moving on to some nutrition products. I bought this massive thing of vegan protein powder, 20 grams of protein. I'm actually on my second packet here now. You can get it in chocolate or vanilla flavor. 100% of vitamin D, B12 and B6 as well, and you get loads of other quantities of zinc and magnesium and iron, fruits and vitamins in there, as well as the protein that you need. Tastes okay, probably the best tasting vegan protein as a dedicated protein shake that I've been able to ever find. Blends okay too, it's got no nasty additives in there, and it isn't too sweet, it isn't sickly sweet, and it also doesn't really taste too artificial as well. Also quite nice packaging, quite cool packaging, and you can request it without a scoop because we've all got scoops in our houses already. And they'll also plant a tree for you. If you message them after you've bought it, they will actually plant a tree, which is a nice little eco tip there. It does get a little bit thick and gritty. It doesn't have many carbs in here, so if you're looking for a dedicated recovery shake, then something like Cis Rego will be better. It's just got a bit more carbs in there. So this isn't going to be replacing my Cis Rego, but it's just a nice little extra thing if I feel like I need an extra protein boost during the day. So yeah, keep this into my rotation. As I said, I've finished the vanilla one. That was great. Chocolate one, enjoying that one as well. In terms of my rating, we'll give that 4.5 stars. Right, sticking with the nutrition theme is Tailwind. I bought this load of these stick packs, and I've been using them so much this year to get ready for a big cycle race I did a few months ago. So when I've been doing a training on my bike, I've been using the Tailwind products for that and been feeling really good by using them. Tailwind say that this is all you're gonna need, so you can get all of your sugar, salts and minerals. You're not gonna need to take in any other types of fuel or carbohydrate. I don't really agree with that. We'll come on to that in a minute in my own testing of it. What I really liked about it, really very mild flavor. It's not overpowering. It's really drinkable. Even when I was feeling rough at the end of some of my cycles and some of the runs I was doing, I could always get this down. So that was a really sort of big positive. Very easy to drink. Lots of different flavor options. You get it in caffeinated or non-caffeinated as well. And I've really seen a really good improvement in how long I can last on the bike. I've done plenty of 100-mile rides in the flat here on Zwift and 100-mile rides outside as well. I've definitely seen a really big improvement in how long I can go for and just feeling better for a little bit longer during my cycles as well. The stick packs, so these are really convenient. You can put them in the back. And when you are out on the run, just having these in your pack is really convenient as well. In terms of the negatives of these, the packs are really quite hard to open. They are really fiddly, and I struggled pretty much every time trying to get into these things. I just still felt, during my running part of this, I ran a 50-mile race a few weeks ago with these. I still need to top up with other things. But from a cycling point of view, these were absolutely fantastic. In terms of my rating, I'm going to give it like a 5 for cycling for me. But in terms of running, it was about a 3. Next up, we've got one of my absolute favourites, but as I had to stock up in the last few months on my body glide, I thought, why not include this review, because I love this stuff. It stops me chafing. It's basically this sort of almost like a roll-on deodorant type thing. You can put it between your legs, by your arms, anywhere where you're going to have some skin-on-skin contact to stop that dreaded chafing and potentially ruining your runs. I've been using this for absolutely years, and it's just an absolute staple in my running routine. In terms of what I like, it just works. If you put this on, you're not going to get any chafing, and it doesn't really smell of anything at all. It's really portable, easy application, and no mess at all. In terms of what I don't like about it, absolutely nothing really. I guess they could have some more eco-friendly, not plastic packaging, but that's about it. 5 stars from me. Next up, guys, is my SHOKZ headphones. Now, technically, I bought these about 3 years ago. People always ask me what headphones to use, so I thought I'd sneak them in because I bought these on Amazon, albeit about 3 years ago. These are basically bone conducting headphones. You can usually use these in races because you can hear everything that's going around you. There's a really good safety aspect to the headphones if you're running around a big city, near roads. Battery life is really good. I'm still getting at least 8 hours out of these headphones. Really good sound quality. So long as you're listening to podcasts or audiobooks, spoken word stuff sounds really good through this. And music isn't great. You know, dedicated proper headphones in your ear will be much better for music. And these are an absolute staple in my running routine. I basically can't really go for a run without these. I absolutely go everywhere with them. In terms of what I don't like about them, you can only really use them for running. If you're going to be using these for commuting or any sort of noisy areas, you're not going to hear anything that's going on. Moderate and quiet areas, you're going to be absolutely fine. Noisy areas, you can't hear anything. And the only other negative I can really think of is they have their own dedicated, like I think it's called proprietary type cable, which if you lose it or you forget it, you're not going to be able to charge it. I'd really love it if something like this was USB-C, but it's only a minor sort of setback. Overall, 4.8 I'll give that. It's just annoying. It annoys me with the stupid charging cable. Moving on to some more nutrition stuff. Now, people are often asking me if I could recommend any like snacks and things to have on the go, and this is about the best sort of thing I could find. Naked bars. I think they're a British company actually. Fruit and nut bars basically in the States, and you can get them in the UK if you go to Whole Foods and things. You get Lara bars. Well, this is probably something about the most equivalent to something like that. 100% natural ingredients, no added sugar, raw, cold pressed. Available in most big supermarkets. They are quite cheap on Amazon, and you can buy them in these big boxes. I think it's 18 bars in a box. My personal favorite was the lemon. I just love lemon stuff anyway. In terms of what I like about it, reasonably cheap. I paid £13 for a box of 18 bars, and you get loads of different flavor options, and it's just super convenient when traveling. They don't make any mess, but in terms of what they look like, it's basically just like that, and if you bite into it, there's nothing that falls down, so it's quite good to have in the car if you're going somewhere. In terms of the ingredients list, all it's got in this one is dates, raisin, almonds, coconut, cashews, lemon, and a hint of natural flavourings, and that's not too bad. So you don't get some long, massive ingredients list, and they're just a good thing to have in the store cupboard if you ever get a little bit packaged. In terms of the negatives, because they're all sort of like natural fruit, the sugars are in them a little bit high. So if you're someone that has some sugar problems, then maybe steer a little bit clear of something like this. So for me, 4.5 stars. They're just a little bit on the small side, and I only end up eating 2 at a time. Right, next up is this thing. It is incredibly heavy, but basically this is called a Slant board. And I bought this a while ago to really help with my ankle strength, because some of you might know I broke my ankle in a skateboarding accident about 4 years ago now. I'm really always working on my ankle dorsiflexion to really try and improve that range of motion. I have a really big disparity between my good foot and my bad foot, and also using it to stretch out my calves, stretch out my soleus. You can adjust it to all sorts of different heights. There's loads of slant boards around. This is definitely on the premium side of things in terms of build quality, but solid metal, really good grip you get on here as well. this like sandpaper type thing, but it feels really nice just in bare feet as well. But you can definitely get something a little bit more on the cheaper side. And I've seen really good improvements with my ankle range of motion. If I just test it out and then go on this for a few minutes and then test it again, it really does help improve that. In terms of negatives, for this one in particular, it's very, very heavy. You're not really going to transport this around too easily. So what would I give this? Definitely 5 out of 5. Next up is this, some sun cream from a company called Life Jacket. As some of you guys know, I ran at the Boston Marathon this year. I can't put any of that footage up on the screen because Boston Marathon will not like that. But during the race, I got quite badly sunburnt because I was really stupid. I'm normally so conscious of looking after my skin, but it just didn't feel that hot that day. I just forgot about it and got badly sunburnt, got some heat stroke. It's a real issue. And after the race, I did a lot of research and stumbled across this. And I thought this would be really good. And I've been putting it into my rotation for going out on the hotter days. In terms of what I really liked about it, it just goes on really well. It's not really greasy. It doesn't leave any white marks. And when you get super sweaty on your long runs and things, it doesn't really matter. It just all sort of rubs in really quite nicely. And I really like the company and what they stand for. It's started by 3 guys. One of them, unfortunately, got skin cancer and they started this company. So well, we're checking out some of these smaller companies selling their products on Amazon. So they only make one, which is Factor 50 Plus. It is a little bit expensive, but £20, that's gonna be a whole year of sun cream for me. The rating on Amazon gives 4.3. I think it's probably a bit higher than that for me personally. So yeah, 4.8 for this. Moving on, I've bought another foot roller because I lost my beloved Roll Recovery R3. I went on Amazon, searched for foot rollers, and this was available on same day delivery, which is super convenient. One of the perks of living in central London. So it's really good for rolling out the underside of your feet, keep plantar fasciitis at bay, rolling your feet on these little nodules here, and it just helps massage that fascia, sort of stretch it out a little bit. I really like this middle section they have in the middle. It sort of raises up in the middle. You can get some really good angles going on underneath your foot. It's super lightweight, hardly weighs anything at all. So really good for traveling around, and the spikes in this one, particular one, aren't too harsh. Sarah has an orange one under her desk, but it's really, really severe. In terms of what I didn't like about it, it does just feel very cheaply made. And it does pick up a little bit of dust and things like that, but it got the job done. I give that 4 out of 5. Now, if you want to know what the best rated running shoe on Amazon is, then that video is coming up next, so go and check that out. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I've really enjoyed putting this video together, testing out these products, and bringing you that completely impartial, honest review, as we always do on the channel. Keep on working hard, guys. Keep it done. We'll see you very soon in the next one.